Okay, to really begin to get a good understanding of how God has been using those two ideas, something made of evil or not made by God, an idea of something, all things made of good and are made by God. God has been using those two ideas to help bring about his kingdom of heaven on the planet Earth. We're going to look at the book of Galatians, fourth chapter, right about the fourth chapter, 24th verse. God talked about Abraham had two sons. And this is going to show us how, we have got to learn to interpret the scripture from the viewpoint of science in order to get a good understanding about how God is bringing about his kingdom on the planet Earth. And science is just general knowledge ideal that's based on verifiable facts. So you see, God in the book of Galatians, God told us that the two sons, actually the two women, the bondwoman and the free woman, which Abraham has one son by the bondwoman, Hagar, and then the other one by the free woman, Sarah, his wife. But what he said that these are allegorical of two covenants. See, an allegory is an instrument of science. It's just use one thing to give an example of what something else is. So God is telling us that the two sons of Abraham are to be taken allegorically. It's the allegory of two covenants that God will have with the children of Israel. That's very important. And we're going to see that the first covenant, which is with the bondswoman, that's the material development of the planet. What's really going to turn out to be the body of Christ, the material development of the body of Christ. And the covenant he has with Jacob, which is really was Isaac, it's going to be associated with the development of the conscious mind of the body of Christ, of the planet, So there's two types of development. That's why there's two different covenants. And we're going to see that the idea of something made of evil or not made by God, God has been using that idea, along with the telling himself, to build up the material aspects of the planet. And right now, God tells us to put our neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon. Because see, material development, working, going to your job, building up the planet, roads and things, whatever, that's part of the work of the king of Babylon. When it reaches the end, then it'll be time for the transition from the material development of the planet to the spiritual development. And that's when the other ideas, all things made of good and made by God, will come in. We're going to see that God has been using both of those ideas to bring about his kingdom. Okay, you stay with me. Now, anyone who's interested, tell them to come in and listen to some of these videos because, as I said, this is a whole new area of study. And just like anything, if you haven't been exposed to the information, you can't know anything about it. And you can't get exposed until you come and listen, you see. And then you begin to see what God has said, and it becomes interesting. And you can follow along and perhaps even add something. Yeah.